Heather, a meetup with a friend takes a terrifying turn for an Oklahoma mother.
And I just start crying because I didn't even recognize myself.
What led up to the alleged attack that left his mom with bruises and broken bones? Plus, inside the takedown.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground now!
The dramatic end to a chase outside an Oklahoma City hospital. And the Senate deals a blow to the White House, setting up a veto showdown.
The yeas are 59, the nays are 41.
Why some Republicans voted against President Trump's emergency declaration. It's all right now at 5.
You're watching Oklahoma's News 4 at 5.
Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Eli Roberts.
And I'm Heather Holman. A young Oklahoma mother is recovering tonight. She says she was badly beaten by someone who she says she barely even knows.
New at 5, that mother is talking to News 4's Peyton Yeager about the attack that left her bruised and bloody. Before we show you this report, we want to warn you, some of the images you're about to see are graphic.
A woman who lives in this Glenhurst neighborhood is healing after she says a man who was threatening her over social media beat and robbed her.
Nobody deserves this, but especially a female who's a mother.
20-year-old Kaylee Johnson saw this bloody sight in the mirror moments after she was attacked.
It was really scary. Like, I was honestly scared for my life. I've never been so scared for my life from another human being.
Her eyes swollen shut, a broken tooth and nose, and fractured bones in her face.
I was just thinking like the worst is about to happen, like all in that moment.
On March 4th, one of Johnson's friends came to pick her up for a quick food run. She says she didn't recognize any of the passengers except for one.
I was like, aren't you the dude that threatened to hurt my 2-year-old daughter? And I probably came off me because, you know, I'm a mom.
Johnson says this teen had been sending her messages through the app Snapchat, saying he was going to hurt her and her child.
That's why I was like, is this a setup?
Johnson decided to go to Mercy Hospital and call police the next morning.
Pictures of her indicate that it was quite a beating she took. So anybody who looks at those pictures can recognize that she was really hurt.
No arrests have been made. Johnson still hasn't returned back to work because she says her priority is the safety of her family.
From what everybody said, like you could have died from especially the kicks to the face and the stomping on the face.
In Northwest Oklahoma City, Peyton Yeager, Oklahoma's News 4.
What a terrible story. That investigation is ongoing, and police say they can't release any new information about the names involved in this case because they're minors.
Now, first weather from the Forewarned Storm Team.
Well, today it's the chilly breezes from the north and low-grade cloud cover on the backside of that tremendous low-pressure area that gave us all the really high wind yesterday. A definite early, late winter feel out there rather than early spring. And weekend weather is good news. I'll have that coming up. Let's first of all check out what we have in store for the rest of today into this evening. And yes, a little late winter weather there, low-grade cloud cover. The winds today still strong, not 10 on the meter like yesterday, maybe about 6.5 or so, with wind gusts still over 35 earlier this afternoon. Temperatures mid-40s in northern Oklahoma, low-grade cloud cover and quite windy, and upper 50s and low 60s with brilliant sunshine for everybody in the southern parts of our state. Winds are still gusting to over 40 miles per hour right now in a pretty good part of northwestern Oklahoma. It is the backside of that tremendous area of low pressure, the low-grade cloud cover and those cold north winds we have outside. The blizzard tracked from Denver yesterday through Nebraska into South Dakota. Now it's up into western Minnesota. That area of low pressure is pushing farther away from Oklahoma. It's way up there in the northern Mississippi Valley. We still have the wind from that. Guys, this evening, heavy jacket or light coat, upper 30s and mid 40s at 10 o'clock and kind of breezy. Good news, though, for the weekend, and that's coming up.
And right now, Oklahoma City police are working to figure out what led up to a woman getting shot at a Metro home. This happened just after noon at Southwest 22nd and Independence. Air Comfort Solutions Chopper 4 was there as the victim was taken away in an ambulance. Police say the woman was shot in the leg, and police have not said whether anyone has been arrested.
It's now been a week since a wild police chase came to an end at a Metro hospital in Oklahoma City. Today, we're getting a closer look at what police were up against in the heat of the moment. Police body cam footage. It's new tonight.
Helicopters in the air, cops on the ground, a chase coming to an end right in front of Integris Baptist Hospital last Thursday. We brought you that story as breaking news, all as it happened in real time. Today, we're getting an inside look at the police takedown of all 3 suspects. Police body cam footage just released.
Hey, show me your hands! Show me your hands now! Get on the ground! Get on the ground now!
124 happened. We're taking one in the
Give me a hand.
That arrest, 32-year-old Antonio Hill, all happening inside a parking garage at the hospital after a foot chase. All three suspects making a run for it. Police weren't taking any chances.
You're about to get shot if you don't comply.
As Hill was getting cuffed, cops found another suspect outside. This time, 22-year-old Matthew Lacopo. His arrest, pretty straightforward, no resistance.
Oh, turn around. Stop. Air one, hold the air. I've got one at gunpoint. Go to your knees. Put your hands on your head. Don't move.
Police quickly getting him off to jail. But it was the third arrest that struck many people as a little strange. That suspect, 21-year-old Jacob Owen. He was on the run for about an hour. It turns out he went home. That's where the cops found him, just as he was getting out of his car, possibly injured, but cooperating fully as police made the arrest.
Hey, I'm gonna make sure you don't have any weapons on you, okay? I have a knife in my pocket. I'll get it.
And all three suspects face charges for those carjackings and the chase that ensued. Hill also faces charges for running from police and having a firearm after a felony conviction.
On Crime Watch, an accused serial robber is off the streets. 26-year-old Edwin Williams is now sitting in the Oklahoma County Jail. Back in February, he allegedly robbed 6 businesses over a 7-week period. All of those holdups took place along Western Avenue in southwest OKC. Police say Williams robbed another business this week, but this time officers were able to catch him. Flu season not letting up yet.
Yeah, flu season is not letting up. The virus is now blamed for more deaths in Oklahoma. The health department now confirms that 3 new deaths have happened from the flu. In all, 56 Oklahomans, including a child, have died this flu season. More than 2,300 have been hospitalized. Oklahoma, Tulsa, and Cleveland counties have had the highest number of hospitalizations.
Also new tonight, a fiery crash in southwest Oklahoma City sends a person to the hospital. Air Comfort Solutions Chopper 4 was over the scene this morning. The crash caused a pretty big traffic jam on I-44 near southwest 119th Street. We don't know what caused the crash, but firefighters say the other driver was not injured. Boeing 737 MAX planes are now grounded across the country, and one of them is right here in Oklahoma. An American Airlines Boeing 737 MAX landed in Tulsa this morning. Only the flight crew was on board. The plane will be parked in Tulsa indefinitely. The 737 MAX planes were grounded yesterday after one crashed in Ethiopia on Sunday, killing everyone on board.
And it's time for some national news. President Trump is vowing to veto a vote in the Republican-led Senate to block his national emergency declaration. Senators had passed a resolution today that had already cleared the House. The president's declaration would have given him funding for a wall on the country's southern border. President Trump issued the emergency declaration after Congress refused to give him the money he wanted to build that wall.
This declaration is a dangerous precedent.
This, for me, is a matter of defending the Constitution and the balance of powers.
The resolution now heads to President Trump's desk, and he's already promised to veto it. From here, the emergency declaration will likely be tied up in court for several years. There are a number of states that have filed lawsuit because of that declaration. And now to the alleged fake hate crime involving a TV actor. Jussie Smollett was back in a Chicago courtroom today where he pleaded not guilty. He is accused of lying to police and saying that he was the victim of a racist and homophobic attack in January. Police say Smollett staged all of it because he was unhappy with his salary on the show Empire.
A burned-out home is now raising new concern.
We just need to make sure everybody stays out of that property.
The city calls it a safety hazard, so why is this home still standing? Next at 5, what's keeping them from tearing it down?
You're watching Oklahoma's News 4 at 5 with Heather Holman, Eli Roberts, Mike Morgan, and Brian Brinkley. Oklahoma's News 4, looking out for you.
would love to have that semi blowing over near Amarillo from yesterday that was in the 4 o'clock show, and it has gnats. So I'll shut up so we can play the gnats. I love that. I'll just go Max 1 video, video Max 1. Thank you. And video is Amarillo truck followed by Kentucky tornado. Super.
It's been nearly a month since a deadly fire in a northwest Oklahoma City neighborhood. Sadly, a pastor, Dr. Koyette Morgan, died in the home. Her husband was rushed to the hospital. Remains of that home are still on the property today.
And city officials now say it's a potential safety hazard. News 4's Lily Zhang explains what's next for that charred debris.
The city says this is an unusual situation. You see, this home burned down nearly a month ago. Right now, the city is still trying to find the owner.
A total loss. This is where a home in the Quail Creek Housing Addition once stood before a fire in February destroyed it all, killing a woman inside.
The homeowner's been through a lot of trauma, losing his wife and his home. We can't locate the homeowner, and we need their approval to move forward.
Christy Yeager with the city of Oklahoma City says the home will eventually be demolished, either by the city or the homeowner's mortgage company. The fire left this indoor swimming pool completely exposed.
We don't want kids to walk in.
Similar concerns have been shared by some neighbors taking to Nextdoor, offering their condolences to the family. One person also adding, quote, "It is a very dangerous and unstable area for kiddos thinking it's a playground." Another saying part of the home looks like it will fall without any help.
People are curious about what a house might look like that had been on fire, so we just need to make sure everybody stays out of that property. It would be trespassing if they stepped on the property anyway.
Yeager says they're planning to fence the area around the home for the time being.
But we want to make sure that the homeowner understands what needs to happen and can get stuff out of the house or can give us the authority to do that.
In Oklahoma City, Lily Zhang, Oklahoma's News 4.
And the city says there's a possibility of placing the home on their nuisance list to be demolished. To do so would require an approval from city council. And in any situation, it could take weeks for that home to be torn down.
And we want to give you a heads up about something that will be happening tomorrow at the Martin Park Nature Center in northwest Oklahoma City. The Forestry Service will be doing a controlled burn on Friday morning. About 8 acres will be set on fire. Firefighters will be on site to make sure that fire does not get out of hand. The city says the burn is needed to remove dead grass and to improve the habitat for wildlife. The park will stay open, but the burn area will be off limits to visitors.
That's something that would have been impossible yesterday with all that wind. Today was a little bit better, though.
Been out of control for sure, yeah. Mike, are we finally to the end of all that wind?
I've got good news about our Oklahoma wind and, of course, what that means for your weekend. A lot of folks on spring break, too. All that's next.